What's up, y'all? It's your boy BigRiz in the studio, but it's not a beat making video. I actually got a question from I'll leave a shout out right here because I can't pronounce his name, from the UK, and he just got the Keystation Pro 88, and he basically had a question about the functions of the keys on the left side of the keyboard, the zones, the controls and this and that. I'm gonna break down my knowledge of what it is that the keyboard does and those functions, and hopefully it's helpful to him and to anybody else who watches this video. So let's get started. First, we're going to start with the connections in the back of the M-Audio Keystation Pro 88. Right now, the only MIDI is the USB. There is no MIDI in and out connected. There's a sustain pedal and a power input, and that's it. I got the MIDI running through the USB and sustain pedal and everything else. Basically, I'm gonna start with zones because I mean that to me is probably the only time you would really use the zones, and it's really for a live show. Like if you're in a live show and you got a keyboard on your MIDI controller 1 or your sound module, whatever that is. I have a Phantom XR hooked up right now. But if there's a keyboard on channel 1, a piano on channel 2, a guitar on channel 3, and a bass on channel 4, easiest way to get to them is through the zones. So that's a guitar of some sort. That's a bass. 1, 2. That's something. That's like it's a mix on 3. And on 4 is another piano. So when I work in the studio, it's basically just on channel 1 the whole time, and I use the software to go through the channels. But I'm just to show you what this is. And you have control over these 4 zones and what channels they affect. So if you wanted to do, let's say, so 1 you wanted MIDI channel 9, whatever's on 9. So you would go global 1 to tell you the channel that it's communicating through. Hit it again, it'll tell you the MIDI channel is on. You select MIDI channel 9, and now that's that's a piano. On the original channel 1, I believe is that guitar. So it's not a guitar anymore. And actually, let me zoom out and pan over a little bit so you can actually see the LCD. What I'm doing here. So hit global once, tells you the channel it's going out of. Hit global twice, gives you the MIDI channel. Say we wanted channel 2. Now it's that bass that's on the second one. So 1 or 2 to say. In a live situation, I can understand why people use it. It gives them quick access to the next instrument in their set. So I mean, it's great for that. But for me, I usually just stick to just normal operation. I usually let the software do my switching of the channels. I'll set up 16 MIDI channels and then just click on each one, and each one goes to a different sound. That's zones, basically. What you can do, once you got your 4 zones set up how you want, you can save them. You'd hit store, come over here, and you pick one of the keypads, and basically that's stored. If you change any of these zone assignments, you hit store and then you pick another one. like I've already saved 1 to 2, which is recall 1 will give me 1 through 4. So channels 1, 2, 3, and 4. If I recall 2, it'll give me zone MIDI channels 5, 6, 7, and 8. So I mean, right now that's just how I have it set up. I really don't get into it. I got a couple guys in here who like to perform, so you know, I set something up for them so they could just go and not have to really worry about anything. Let's go back to 1. That is the basic zones. The labels at the bottom are double punches. So for memory dump, you would double punch. For device ID, which should be 127, that's your device ID. Control select. Control select is the knobs and the faders and the extra buttons on the M-Audio board. I'll pan over a little bit so y'all can see some of the other. And when you select, like if you wanted to assign this knob to a function, you would hit the control select and then turn this knob, and it will say, okay, you're on 10, you're on B10. And it'll tell you you're on B10. And then, you know, you assign in your software whatever B10 is supposed to be. It could be a volume, it could be whatever you want. I mean, you got faders over here too, so I mean, you can assign those as well. But it could be for any effect that you want, and blah blah blah. MIDI out from USB. That's actually how I have mine set up, and it's on. The USB cord carries the MIDI signal. So if you just got the USB hooked up, if you got the USB hooked up to your computer and you're playing the keys and you're not hearing any sound, it's probably because that's off. Double punch, bang, it'll cut it back on, it'll cut it on and off, and then you should be communicating now basically through your USB the MIDI information. Velocity curve, let's go back over here for a sec. The velocity curve, these 2 buttons, this to me is probably performance wise and just sound wise what you really need to know about it. If you double punch it, you'll get this velocity curve. I have mine set to F3, which basically means when you press it, no matter how hard you press it, you'll get the full sound at full volume. When you change that velocity curve, then you get the minus arrow. And actually, this is a good example. I took the velocity curve down to F1, and every time I press it, depends on how hard I press it. Well, actually, in F1, it's just setting it, I think, at like 50%. So if I go velocity curve and I bring it down to C1, I'm pressing it down softly. I'm pressing the key down softly. I'm pressing. So the softer you press, it acts like a real piano. The softer you press affects the velocity of the note. It's easier to tell with a keyboard. Let me see if I can pick a better velocity curve actually. The velocity curves are all laid out in the manual to show you how each one, comes up and goes down. This one. So it basically reacts like a real piano. For my purposes, I usually do a lot of sampling, and when I do my samples across the entire keyboard, I like to just have the full sound. So I usually stick to the F3, which it's just full velocity all the time. So no matter how hard you press the key, soft, hard, it's the same velocity. Control and mute. No idea what that does. You got me. Your zone range. Basically, you hit the zone range and select the range on your keyboard from top to bottom. And it'll let you play keys in that range. That's what basically if you want to break it up and play a different sound on a different part of the keyboard. Let's go start, finish. You can't play keys further down the board because this range could be for something else. It could be for a different zone or a different group. But once you get past that, I mean, it's easy to just reset it. And now I'm playing my full keyboard again. Other than that, that's pretty much it on the M-Audio keyboard side, on the left-hand side of the keyboard. Further down, you got your pitch bend wheel, and above that, there are play, stop, start, fast forward functions. Those basically work with your software. The pitch bend wheel just works as a regular pitch bend wheel, and the modulation wheel. But I mean, you can play if you have the whatever software you're working with. It can play, stop, rewind, fast forward, and record. So I mean, I've used it a couple times, but not often. Other than that, that is it. At least that's my knowledge of the M-Audio Keystation Pro 88. Well, that's it. Hope you all enjoyed. Hopefully this has helped somebody out there with a Keystation Pro who didn't understand what the buttons were. I thank y'all for watching. Continue to subscribe, and I'll continue to kick out videos. Hopefully they're helpful to you or inspire you to get in the hip-hop game or the music game or whatever. But I thank y'all, everybody. I reached 100 subscribers. I got 100 friends. I'm hitting all types of milestones that I wanted to hit. So I thank y'all for that, and hopefully everything I do continues to help either motivate or teach people, because that's what I'm really here for, is just to pass my knowledge on. So I thank y'all. Peace.